The biogeochemical cycle is a system of recycled chemicals that may have been present millions of years in the past. In some cases, the element can be held in long periods of time, creating a reservoir. SNOPS is the making of biogeochemical cycle, which includes cycles of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur. However, our main point of focus is going to be oxygen.
Oxygen moves through three main regions of the Earth: the lithosphere, the biosphere, and atmosphere. The oxygen cycle first begins with plants. Plants absorb the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which is created by humans, and then convert it to oxygen by using the process of photosynthesis. In other words, plants breathe in the carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen. Plants create oxygen, which animals and humans use. After the plants create the oxygen, it goes into the atmosphere and waits to be absorbed by animals. Animals and humans use the oxygen to supply energy to their cells in a process of respiration. After humans and animals take in the oxygen, they then exhale and create carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. After the carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere, plants then proceed to take in carbon dioxide and then convert it again to oxygen.
There is also some oxygen that appears in water, which is known as dissolved oxygen. Oxygen enters water when it runs over rocks, which create a large amount of surface area. The increased amount of surface area is what allows the oxygen to transfer from water to air very swiftly. Microorganisms in the area of water then begin to break down the organic matter, consuming oxygen while doing so. This is also another form of the oxygen cycle. Since organisms are constantly taking in oxygen and oxygen continuously enters the water from the air, the amount of oxygen in the water remains at a constant.
Oxygen is an important part of life, whether it is absorbed with the air or dissolved into water. Logging in the absence of vegetation decreases the amount of oxygen available. Oxygen is essential for the process of respiration to occur, during which the energy needed to perform the functions of the body is produced. Other oxygen-producing organisms are often sensitive to the environment around them. As their environment's temperature and air quality is compromised, their ability to produce oxygen for us is affected. This has huge effects down the food chain. A specific example of how the environment as a whole has changed is the phytoplankton's relationship with the zooplankton. Phytoplankton are especially sensitive to their marine environment. Their health and ability to produce oxygen deteriorates with their negatively changing surroundings. This affects other organisms down the food chain, like the zooplankton, which feeds off the phytoplankton. They would start to die out as the food supply decreases more and more. This would be unhealthy for the ecosystem as a whole because there would be less oxygen in the water, resulting in more carbon dioxide that raises acidification levels.
The most important facts about the oxygen cycle is that it is created during photosynthesis by plants. Humans and animals absorb the oxygen during cellular respiration and then breathe it back out in the form of carbon dioxide, where the plants can then absorb it again. Oxygen comes in different forms like dissolved oxygen and is broken down by microorganisms. Pollution of the oxygen cycle affects not just one part of the cycle, but the biogeochemical cycle as a whole. Because oxygen is needed by every living thing to survive, the presence of it can be affected in many different ecosystems.